Hello, everybody. I'm excited to be back with another take of Zooming with Kaymitch, and I have a very special guest that's waiting to be added on. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and add him on here really quick. Hello, hello.
How's it going?
It's going good. I'm so happy to have you on here today, Griffin. I appreciate you, carving out some time to be on my Zoom meeting today. And I don't want to take too much of your time, but I definitely want to gain some insight, GA to GA, and be
That's
able to
right.
talk about a couple of questions and everything that I have for you.
Yeah, no, I feel big time being here. No, I'm thankful to be here. Appreciate you having me.
Appreciate it. So, without further ado, why don't you go ahead and kind of introduce yourself, your hometown school master program?
Gotcha. So my name is Griffin Cheatham. I am fortunate to be the graduate assistant coach here at the University of South Alabama for the women's basketball team. I'm originally from Meridian, Mississippi. You've probably never been there, probably never will go there. Very, very small. I graduated high school with 46 people. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. Um, when I graduated high school, I went to junior college for 2 years for free because I graduated top of my high school class. I started living on my own when I was 16, 17. So going to junior college right after high school was the best option for me to be able to afford to live, to go to school, all that good stuff.
Mhm.
And I eventually graduated my bachelor's from the University of Southern Mississippi in May
Yup.
of 2023. And now we're here at University of South Alabama, finishing up year one in the grad program and studying sports management. So this is my fifth. Oh, fast math. See, 2019, 2020, I was a volunteer high school coach. I assisted the varsity team for my old high school coach.
Okay.
2020 to 2021, I was a head middle school coach and assistant varsity coach. I wasn't in school that year, so I went to junior college for 2 years, and I was actually going to transfer to Southern Miss initially to be a student manager for their men's team.
Hmm.
Some personal stuff happened where I couldn't go to school. Of course, I was during COVID, so a
Yeah,
lot of things changed for a lot of people. Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
so I actually worked at a fitness center. I was a head middle school coach, assistant varsity coach, and I cut grass around the campus. So I was doing a lot of different things in
Wow.
2020 and 2021.
Uh-huh.
And then my mom passed away in December of 2020. So around that time, I started thinking about what the future held for me and what the good Lord had in store for me. So started thinking about, maybe getting to the college game a little bit. And during 2020, I got really interested in women's basketball. Started watching on TV a lot more. Being from Mississippi, basketball is not a priority. So,
Right.
but basketball for me, that's all I know. I've played it since I was younger. Knew I wanted to coach since I was in middle school. So, but I really began watching college basketball and just reaching out to a lot of coaches and networking with coaches and just asking a lot of questions.
Right.
Emailed a lot of people. Didn't get a ton of answers, but I got the answers from the right people. That's what mattered the most. And I was actually watching the University of South Florida, their women's basketball team on TV one day, and I was on ESPN Plus, and I really liked what I saw on TV. I saw a lot of unity. I saw a lot of connectivity. I saw a really good culture. And at the time, I didn't know anything about University of South Florida women's basketball. Did my research, started reaching out to people, kind of getting a feel for the program, and
Hmm.
I saw the legacy that Coach Jose Fernandez has built there
Yeah.
on the floor and off the floor. So I was fortunate that I got connected with Anthony Brammer, who he was a video coordinator at South Florida at the time. He's now an assistant at Pittsburgh. And he was gracious enough to bring me on board as a student manager in June of 2021.
Wow.
So that was big for me. I moved almost 700 miles away from home, which from the
It's tough.
South and Mississippi, yeah, you don't do that
Yeah.
much. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We stay close to home.
Right.
Um, so I was at South Florida as a student manager for their women's basketball team from June to December of 2021. I loved it. It was kind of sort of that opportunity to build a new opportunity, a new life for myself in a new
Absolutely.
area. But had some family stuff come up, some personal stuff to attend to. So ended up having to move back home to Mississippi in December of 2021. And I was very disappointed by it at the time. I saw it as an obstacle, and I was kind of in a poor me mindset, but it didn't take long to get in the right frame of mind. Hey, it's opportunity. It happened for me. It didn't happen to
Yeah.
me. Um, so
That's
I got, and then so in December 2021, got back to Mississippi, and then I started coach high school again. I was assistant varsity coach from December of 21 to May of 22.
Mhm.
And then last year, 2022 to 23, I was at Jones College. I know we're going to talk about that a little bit,
Yeah.
but I was a
Mhm.
volunteer JUCO assistant there, and
Mhm.
now we're here living the dream.
Yes, yes. So that was, like I said, that was one of my first questions is when I always do my research on everybody.
Uh-huh.
And I seen that you were a volunteer assistant for Jones College. Was that on the women's side or was that on the men's side?
So that was on the men's side.
Okay.
So I coached high school boys and finished out the spring of 2022. We actually had four guys sign junior college scholarships to the state of Mississippi and in Mississippi JUCO system. One of
Uh-huh.
those guys ended up signing with Jones College. Their head coach, Newt Mealer, who he is a highly successful. He was a state championship high school coach in Mississippi for over 20 years. He offered me a volunteer assistant spot, and it was 30 minutes. It's actually the junior college that I went to. I went to Jones
Yeah.
after high school. So
Uh,
it was convenient, and it was just probably a 30-minute drive every day. So I was just really, really fortunate to get into that position. But that was on the men's side.
how did that kind of help towards you now being a GA, would you say?
Uh, Junior college is a unique experience because you don't have a lot of staff members. So you are
Right.
required to wear a lot of different hats. You don't specialize in one area. I mean, in my time there as a volunteer assistant, I touched everything from fundraising to camps to recruiting to skill development to
Uh-huh.
scouting reports to social media to academics to running study hall sessions. I mean, it was such a unique experience. But JUCO is a hustle.
Yes.
JUCO, I have so much respect for JUCO coaches because it's a hustle. It's tough. I mean, you have to
Grind.
sign.
The grind.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. And those people are in it for the right reasons. You know, you have to really love what you do.
Yep.
Um, but at my time there, I mean, like I said, I was with Coach Mealer, who he played Division I basketball. He was a highly successful high school coach in the state of Mississippi. This year, he was actually the coach of the year for the conference in Mississippi,
Amazing.
and they won the Region 23 tournament this year. They had a chance. They played in the national tournament this past weekend,
Mhm.
so that was cool. Being just opportunity he gave me, super super grateful for it. And then also on that staff was Clarence Weatherspoon, who I always feel big time whenever I say someone's name and they have a Wikipedia page. I'm like, pretty cool. So he was he's from probably one of the greatest players to come out of Mississippi.
Mhm.
He played 14 years in the NBA. And then he had Division I and high school coaching experience. And then he joined us at Jones. And then also on that staff was Luke Chapman, who he was a manager for the men's team at the University of Memphis. And he was a state championship assistant high school coach. And now he's the head high school coach in Mississippi, and he's going to do really, really special things. So I was surrounded by just so much, just knowledge on the floor and off the floor. And I was surrounded by really good people.
That's good.
So given that opportunity to wear different hats, and those guys empowered me to learn and to go and to fail and just figure stuff out.
Yeah.
It was just such a special opportunity. And like I said, in JUCO, you wear a lot of different hats. And
Mhm.
as you know, in the graduate assistant role, you wear a lot of different hats, and
We
you have to
do.
be
Yeah.
ready. Yeah, you have to be ready to adapt and adjust to different things. So that prepared me for that experience. I mean, we had. I mean, so I think we had one guy on the team who was a year younger than me to the day. We had the same birthday. So running study hall sessions and having guys in my academic group, it was such a cool experience, just being able to learn and just to figure some stuff out. But just being surrounded by really good people that empowered me to do a lot of different things. And that's been my journey so far. People have taken chances on me and just given me opportunities, and just really, really fortunate. But it's a special place. It's the premier JUCO, and just
It is.
really, really enjoyed my time there.
Yeah, that's why I was asking whether you on the women's or the men's side because you see now what the women Jones coaches now doing the ULM. I mean, they're in the WNIT and they're killing it and still going on to the next rounds and the next rounds. And I just, I have an AU coach who's also a JUCO coach, and he tells me like, hey, I
Hmm.
have to do some of everything. And like being a part of Division I, it's like everybody has this sort of, you know,
Yeah.
you got to work on this, you got to work on this. But in JUCO or anywhere
Hmm.
else, it's like you got to wear many hats. And so I just think that's so cool how that experience, how you took all of that in to now be where you are now. Speaking of that,
Yeah.
how did the opportunity come about being a GA at South Alabama?
So I talked about my time at South Florida, where I was a student manager there. And Coach Yolisha Jackson, who's our head coach here at South Alabama, she was actually an assistant coach and recruiting coordinator at the time in South Florida.
Wow.
So I was fortunate to. I probably asked her a lot of questions. My time as a manager there, she probably had. She probably wanted to say, "Hey, get out of my office." But she was really, really cool. I mean, she was just a tremendous human. She was back then. She still is now. And she got the job here at South Alabama, and she called, and we met and talked about it. And I'm just super, super blessed that in her first year as a head coach, she trusted me in this position to give me this platform, and just eternally grateful. So we connected in South Florida, and just been fortunate to maintain that relationship, and just super, super grateful for her.
Wow, isn't that amazing how just like how all of that just works together? Like you never know what position and stuff you be in. And that's why every time I talk to people and they ask for opinion or advice or anything, or when I'm asking for advice, the number one thing they say is relationship, build great relationships.
Mhm.
Like that's key. Like who you know and what you know is especially so big in the basketball world. Like you know them, like yeah, I know them. Like give them a job. Like they're good
Yeah.
people. They know what they're talking about.
Right.
And so I just think that's
Yeah.
so amazing how all of that kind of intertwined for you and played a part. So
Yeah,
with
it's so cool. It's really unique. Just because the people make the place. No
yeah,
matter where you go, what level you're at. And you mentioned Coach Hilderback, who's now head coach of Louisiana Monroe. I
yeah,
shook my head whenever you mentioned her name, because it was a lot of fun to watch her growing up in Mississippi, win JUCO region championships and go to the national tournament.
mhm.
This is not very fun to have to coach against her. Be the
Yeah,
same league as her, because she's really good at what she does, and she's a
yeah,
really good person. But like you said, it's all about the people, and it just those relationships. They're all this coaching industry. It's interesting because they're all connected. We're all intertwined
awesome.
somehow. Like before today, we probably don't have a ton on the surface. We'd say, hey, I don't know a ton of people that know you, but I bet if we do a little research, there's probably a lot of people we share in common. So
Yeah,
it's really, really special. You're right about that.
absolutely. Absolutely. So with your first year being in the books, what can you kind of say that you learned this year about being a GA?
Wow. Hmm. I mean, what haven't I learned? Honestly, I mean, just the biggest thing that I took away from this year, because in a graduate assistant, no matter what program you're in, what level you're at, it's not glamorous. You're not making a bunch of money.
Right.
You're not special, like you said. You're not specializing in one area. You're having to do a lot of different things. I
Mhm.
think the biggest thing that I tried to emphasize over this year was whatever opportunity I'm given, whatever role, whatever task, use that task, that opportunity as a means to serve our student athletes. How
Mm,
can I give them the best experience and help them become the best version of themselves on the court, off the court, and in the classroom? For me, basketball is just a platform. I love X's and O's. I love that part. I love the game, but this is just a platform for me to invest in student athletes, like so many coaches and people have done and continue to do for me. Um, and as a graduate assistant, and on the Division I level in general, there's so much going on. So sometimes it's hard to really understand and grasp how much you're really learning until you reflect on it. I love to write stuff down, so I can look back and be like, wow, like I didn't even realize how much I took away from this experience or this situation until after the fact. But just figuring out ways that I can take whatever I'm given and try to serve our student athletes, our program, our institution, and our city. I just think that being a GEA, it can instill values of some servant leadership in you,
absolutely.
because, like I said, you're not getting a ton of money from it. It's not always the most glamorous role, but you are able to find ways to take whatever you're given, whatever platform you're given, and positively impact the people around you. And that's just what's most important to me. And so everything I try to do, I try to spin and say, hey, how can I take this to best serve our student athletes? Because at the end of the day, this whole experience is for them, and want to give them the best possible experience and help them become the best version of themselves in every way. So that for me just